Yamtalk. 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 Hi, welcome to Yamtalk. This is your co-host. I'm Solly. I said my last name, the FBI.
Is your son retarded?
Are you talking to my mom? She's not here.
Call 1-800. Oh, we can't say that word anymore.
1-800? Yeah, I know. Doesn't that suck?
I don't get it.
Oh my, who is that?
Who is that?
Who is that?
Larry. It's
Who is
Larry.
that scream?
It's Larry.
It's Larry.
This week we have special guest star,
Larry.
famous for
Lloyd Fungus.
Larry.
Larry.
Cafe racer.
Larry.
famous for Lloyd Fungus.
Yeah.
Dylan's roommate.
You guys know Dylan, don't you?
Everybody's
Oh,
really good friends with him.
Yeah. This week we have a special guest, and his name is Larry. This week we have a special guest named Larry, and we're continuing the Halloween marathon with Halloween 20 years later, 20 years later.
That's
Also-
the full title of the film.
Also known as Halloween H2O.
20
and
years later.
20 years later.
The title of the film is Halloween H2O 20 years later, but the H2O stands for Halloween 20 years later. So the full title translates to Halloween 20 years later, 20 years later.
And then there's Resurrection, but no one cares about that piece of crap. And then, as a special fucking bonus movie, one of the best movies ever made, we're going to be talking about is called
Schindler's List.
I like the one we watched better.
Me too, and that one was Murder Party.
Oh, I was close.
And
Murder
released
Party.
in 2007 by some dickweed who doesn't like modern art, which I'm right on board. No!
Sorry.
Alright, so where should we start? How should we start? We're gonna see if we can squeeze Hunger Games into this, and if we can't, then that's just gonna be booger. So, let's start with Halloween 20 years later, 20 years later.
So Halloween 20 years later, 20 years later was released 20 years after the first Halloween. What a
20
fucking
years
surprise.
later.
So if you remember the end of Curse of Michael Myers escaped, the blah 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 thing, that doesn't matter because this completely reboots the series.
Thank God.
Jamie Lee Curtis is still alive. Well, yeah, the actress is still alive, of
Yes,
course.
she is
Laurie
still with us.
Strode in the film is still alive, and she has now relocated. No, that's
Where
not
is she?
right.
She's in Cali, right?
Yeah, she moved to California. She faked her own death and changed her name, and now is the headmistress of a boarding school in California.
She's very strict. She says if that skirt is 3 inches too short, you're out of here.
Where have I heard that before?
High school.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you
They
mean?
did not enforce that at all. You
That's
know
true.
that.
They said you shouldn't, but
They
then
said you should.
It was a
Only a few
suggestion.
select teachers
Only
actually did that.
Only
you ever
the
walk
cream of
up
the
the
crop.
stairs and find yourself having to look down at the stairs the entire time you were walking up? Because if you looked up at all, then you'd see.
Roast beef is
So
falling
many
out.
nightmares.
I'm not gonna tell anybody how to live
Disgusting.
their life.
So anyway, Halloween H2O. So Laurie Strode's alive somehow. I don't know. Apparently 4, 5, and 6 never happened. This was a continuation of Halloween 2, I
at
believe.
all. Yeah.
Well now, so here we are. Laurie Strode is the headmistress of her own school, and she has a son with a really bad haircut.
Oh God, it's awful. It's so bad.
His hair, I don't even know how to describe his haircut. It's like,
It gives me PTSD.
yeah, man.
Like,
It's such a rough haircut.
It's bad.
We'll include an image of it on the
it's
thumbnail.
yeah, we have to.
But yeah, it's just a disaster. Her son has good friend. He has his girlfriend who, that was the blonde, right?
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember either. He has his girlfriend who's the blonde. He has this other friend who's, oh God, he's so fucking annoying. He's like a little weasel. He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a weasel. Like if he was a furry, his persona would be a weasel.
Did he die?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And then there's Weasel's girlfriend,
Mrs. Weasel.
Mrs. Weasel,
Ms. Weasel.
Miss Weasley.
Ms. Weasel.
Larry, you didn't. Oh yeah, Larry
No,
didn't
I
watch
did not
this.
see that one.
Yes.
Or any of them.
So you
besides
better
the one we
shut-
just watched.
Shut the fuck up, cause you
I'll
don't know
shut the
what
fuck up
you
when I
don't
want.
know
Shut the
what's
fuck
going
up,
on. You
piece
you
of
better
shit.
shut the
Piece of
fuck up.
shit.
You better
Piece of
shut.
My
down,
two
piece of
dads are
shit.
fighting
Shut
again.
it.
This is so
Hey.
sad. Alexa, play "Careless Whisper" by George Michael.
It's okay.
about like 14 seconds in.
This movie sucked.
It was bad.
Like, this was just, it was a dumb movie. Michael Myers is back, as he fucking normally is. He comes back every Halloween just to go along with the whole murder Santa Claus thing.
And everyone's like, Michael Myers isn't real, and then they get
There
stabbed.
he is!
The way you're playing with those scissors,
What are you talking
I'm
about?
thinking
I
you're
don't
gonna
know what you
stab yourself in
fucking
the
mean.
chest.
Anyway, so Michael's back. Where the fuck did he come from? Nobody knows. Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, Canada.
So Michael, he's back at the boarding school, and apparently the past couple years, Lori's just been extremely, like,
Bad. With
anxious
herself.
about Michael coming
She
back from
chews
the
her
dead.
nails.
Yeah.
Bitch, you better
She
stop.
gets really anxious, so it's Halloween. Her son's like 17, and the whole school's going on this field trip to Yosemite.
Ugh, that was the lamest shit ever.
And-
where even is Yosemite?
I don't know.
Where's Yosemite?
Her son
I
her
don't
son really
know
wants to go
where
to
it's
Yosemite,
in the
but she won't
mountains.
let her son go because it's Halloween. And Michael's gonna come back, but he never does. But this time he does.
Yes.
So his son instead decides, fuck it. I'm just gonna be sneaky and stay here with my girlfriend and my two friends.
Yosemite.
And then they stay there, and then Michael comes back
No.
because of an incompetent guy who controls the gate to the boarding school, played by LL Cool J,
By the way,
for some reason. For no real reason at all. He's just played by LL Cool J.
late 90s rappers must be in every movie. It's
Pretty
in the
much.
Bible.
Yeah. Corinthians chapter 14, verses 12 to 17.
Look it up.
Thy who thy rappereth beeth in thy movie.
You know what? Don't look it up. If you have faith in the Lord our God, you already know what's in there. You
Exactly.
already know.
Exactly. So Michael kills everybody who's there. Lori's hooking up with this dude who works at the boarding school, I guess. I don't know
Oh,
what he is. He's
yeah.
like a teacher
Oh,
or,
I remember him.
or a prefect or whatever you fucking call him. I don't know. He's an asshole.
And he's a pretty big asshole, is what he is.
He dies.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, doesn't?
Yeah.
Isn't he like? I'm
We don't
gonna
remember
kill
anything
you.
from this movie, and honestly, it's such a forgettable movie
I
that
fell asleep at the end again.
he fell asleep at the end of the fucking movie. Basically, the point is Michael kills the kid's two friends, and then him and Laurie Strode fight a lot. The final part about the movie is just Laurie and Michael fucking fighting it out all throughout the fucking school. Also, Michael's Spider-Man. He can climb the fucking
He
walls.
can climb anything. No,
There's-
he's Slipknot.
Oh yeah.
Slipknot
The man who can climb anything.
for 10 minutes and then he gets blown up.
There's fucking one part where like she's walking down a hall and Michael just lowers himself from the ceiling with one arm.
Ooh.
What a strong guy.
What a strong boy.
Upper body strength. I bet he goes to the rack.
Sure, man.
He gets wrecked 4 times a week.
They duke it out. He falls down on the table, and then the paramedics. This is the end of the movie. This is the most abridged version of a film we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
But anyway, so at the end, Michael's put in a paramedic ambulance shit. But Laurie just fucking boot gangs one of the cops' guns and points at him and is like, "Feck off!" And she gets in the fucking ambulance, just jacks the car with Michael in it, crashes the fucking car off the road, so Michael gets pinned between a tree and the truck, and she has this fucking fire axe, and she just fucking beheads Michael.
Yeah.
Or did she?
Bum bum bum.
That was Halloween H2O. It's boring, it's dumb, extremely forgettable.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, don't watch
Yeah,
it.
I didn't do it.
Larry didn't even watch
Larry didn't watch it, and look at him.
I'm fine. I'm stellar. I'm a better person for it.
He's a better person.
He's a
than
better
all of
person
us.
than we are.
Better person than all of you.
So let's talk about Halloween Resurrection, the movie we just watched.
Yeah, that one was
I'm
better.
a worse person for watching that.
It was
Not
so
like it.
fucking stupid. So Halloween Resurrection was made in 2002, so that's just, like...
You know, you got
4
your
years.
teenagers on their weird fucking cell phones that you can write on.
It is so early, it's so, early 2000s. The technology is, She has this, it's not a flip phone. It's almost like a notebook pad.
It
But,
was like a notebook pad combined with a DS combined with a Verizon fucking Razor
it's
motor.
really fucking
What?
weird. So the movie opens up in this fucking sanatorium where Laurie Strode's being kept because she's now in the loony bin. Because, surprise, the paramedic she beheaded at the end of H2O... Oh, I just gave it away. She beheaded Michael at the end of H2O, but it wasn't actually Michael. Apparently, it was a paramedic who Michael switched his suit with?
He did the old switcheroo.
The old switcheroo.
'Cause
So
he
Laurie
knew he
Strode...
was gonna get beheaded.
So Laurie Strode fucking accidentally murdered some innocent paramedic. But it's funny because at the end of H2O, Michael was like reaching his hand out, not saying anything, just reaching his hand out to Laurie. And like, it was actually the paramedic, but he never actually said anything like, hey, I'm not Michael Myers, I'm actually just a paramedic who got boot ganged.
His trachea got crushed.
Did it?
Yeah, that's what one of the nurses was like. His trachea got completely crushed, so he couldn't say anything.
I didn't see that.
And then I was like, oh, fucking clever, I guess. Couldn't he?
I don't think they had that planned at all.
No, not at all.
I think they figured H2O would be the last one, and then maybe either they wanted to make another one or H2O was successful, so they made another one. They wrote themselves into a hole and then proceeded to just fucking get out of the hole.
And dig themselves out with a flimsy paper shovel.
Did he remove the paramedic's fingernails so he couldn't get the mask off?
Anyway, so Laurie's been in this fucking loony bin sanatorium or whatever, and she's waiting for Michael to come back, and he does. And she has this like elaborate trap set up to catch him, and she gets him on the fucking roof, right? So then Laurie Strode goes to unmask Michael to make sure it's actually Michael this time.
Yes.
And then he fucking throws her off the... No, he stabs her and then throws her off the roof, killing her.
Yeah.
Laurie Strode is in this movie for 8 minutes before she fucking dies.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis was probably like, this is dumb. You guys better stop.
No more movies after this.
Yeah.
But then they made 3 more. So.
Yeah. Well, Rob Zombie had that,
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay, I'm excited to watch those, actually. I like
you?
Rob Zombie
They're
movies.
really different than the other ones.
Yeah, I figured.
The first one is like, it's Halloween 1, but like a Rob Zombie movie.
Yes.
The second one's completely different than any of the other ones.
Love Devil's Rejects.
Also, Michael looks like a hobo.
He does.
Hobo
I've
Michael.
seen clips.
Anyway, so... we meet our main characters who are like these college students, and they all get randomly chosen to be on this internet show called
Disaster Violence, Disaster
something.
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
And Tyra Banks.
The Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes show.
Tyra fucking Banks.
So there's this web show all about like haunted shit or whatever, hosted by Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks.
God,
why are they in this movie?
She was really.
I mean, they're really
work.
popular in 2002. The only reason they're in the movie is to say, "Hey, we have Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks in the film," which I think is really funny because Tyra Banks doesn't do anything.
She doesn't. She just dies.
She's just really unaware and then dies.
She hardly has any dialogue in the fucking movie.
How could they kill Tyra Banks? She was really looking for work between like her talk show and fucking America's Next Top Model, apparently.
Well, now she's the host of America's Got Talent.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's not good.
Go Tyra! You came back
every time
from
she
your
talks. It's like,
murder.
hi, it's Ty.
Oh, dear.
Smizing.
Schmeezing.
And her eyes fall out of her head.
Pretty much.
She's like,
so these kids get picked for this random show, and on Halloween night they're all gonna there's 6 of them, they get to go into the Myers house and uncover what really happened,
which is all fake cheesy bullshit.
They all put like these weird like weird kid drawings and all these weird kid toys and like a fucking baby chair with a padlock and chains, and it was all a trick. They actually just put it there to make their own show.
And they were all really mad about it for some reason. They were like, man, I can't believe we're not actually seeing an authentic psychopath's house.
One thing we should mention, the main character is friends with this kid who's like, they call him Deckard, and he says he's a graduate who's like a specialist in like technology or whatever. And he helps her with computer stuff, I guess. But he's watching, because what they're doing is they're live streaming the whole night of them in the Myers house. And he's like watching it with them at this party that his friend made him go to.
Yes.
And it's really funny because as the night goes on and people start dying, everybody in the party just goes into the small little room with them and starts watching the live stream. So by the end, the entire party is just watching this fucking live stream.
Everybody's there. Fucking, their dad is there. Michael Myers is there. Laurie Strode is there. John Carpenter.
You guys are watching the Michael Myers thing? Oh.
Is that the Michael Myers thing?
Michael Myers walks in. Is that the Michael Myers thing?
So we have 6 people in this house. We have our main character, who really has no character other than she's the main character. We have black vegan guy who's almost at max vegan powers.
Was he?
No, he wasn't a vegan. No, he hated vegans.
What? When did he say anything about vegan?
He said something about protein.
Yeah, no, he was obsessed.
Michael Myers rampage.
I think he was obsessed with something regarding protein or whatever.
Broccoli.
Yeah. Then there's a blonde lady who gets groped a lot in the movie.
Like on crack the whole movie.
Yeah, she's just on cocaine the whole movie.
She literally had a bunch of lines.
Then we have
I couldn't understand.
yeah. Then we have Mr. Pervert guy who just touches the blonde chick nonstop, really creepily.
Two of those.
Then we have the music major. And the lesbian who's not actually a lesbian.
Because she said, if I fuck you, it's like being a lesbian.
If I fuck a music major, it'd be a disgrace to lesbianism. And then, like, the next scene, she's trying to fuck the dude in the basement.
Yeah.
That's staged.
Yeah, everything in this fucking house was staged by Busta Rhymes to, like, get a fucking reaction out of him. Until they find out Michael Myers has been living in the basement of the Myers house for the past, like, 20 years. Bum, bum, bum.
He's really had nothing to do.
Yeah, he's just been chilling there. And it's really funny because, like, now that Michael finally killed Laurie Strode, it's like, what the fuck is he even doing anymore? He's literally just living in his house, just fucking trying to chill, and then these people come in. Also, Busta Rhymes is dressing up as Michael Myers to scare the kids.
You guys called that one.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Every single time a character came on screen, we were just like, is that Busta Rhymes? And at one point when there was a guy dressed as Michael, we were like, is that Busta Rhymes? And there was actually Busta Rhymes.
He's like, surprise. And then Busta Rhymes had like 5 different one-liners in the movie.
And so yeah, basically Michael just starts killing everybody in the house one by one. It's really uneventful. One thing though, this movie tries to be Scream because this came out. I think what Scream come out 1996.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's basically trying to do what Scream did and just be like, hey, look at us, we're a comedy, we're a horror comedy. Except
it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. No. Well, here's the thing: it was funny when it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, unintentional.
It was
humor.
unintentional. Yeah. So Michael basically just kills everybody. The kills in this movie were kind of lame.
They were
like compared
so
to all the other kills, it was fucking dumb. It was funny. Like one of the first kills in the movie was the guy setting up the cameras in the house.
Yeah.
And Tyra Banks is watching him on the screen until she starts dancing and making coffee. So she looks away from the screen, and the camera guy just starts getting fucking stabbed with a tripod.
And she comes back and he's completely gone, and she's like, "Wow, look at that angle!" Because the camera's like on the floor.
I love the whole scene. It's like. Him getting stabbed, cut to Tyra Banks' ass. Him getting stabbed, cut to Tyra Banks' ass.
And then we find out later in the movie when she's on her final girl circuit, so she's like running around seeing all the dead bodies. We find the fucking dude on the roof. He was just sitting there the whole time.
He's like, "Wow, nobody noticed me. Fuck you guys."
Yeah, I thought. For one thing, every time Michael came on screen, they had this really weird camera effect where, like, it slowed down.
Yeah, the frame rate went down.
Really fucking bad.
I don't know why they did that. It was a bad choice, and they shouldn't have.
Most of the kills were either really lame or happened off screen. I did like the one where the black guy was
pinned to the wall with knives.
Yeah, because it was like a callback to the first one.
Yeah.
Even that was kind of lame.
It was lame. I'm ready to stop talking about this movie.
Yeah.
It was lame.
These movies are just pretty bad.
But it's okay.
Here's one thing that was fucking wild. Apparently, the place Tyra Banks was at, where she was like watching everybody on the screens, was literally in the fucking garage of the Myers house.
Yes.
So at one point, the main girl, she's like running through Michael's underground cavern, and she climbs through one of his like little hatches, ends up in the garage, where Tyra Banks is just hanging from the ceiling because she's dead.
I can't believe they killed Tyra.
I love like the final track she was going through. In the like climax, she just ran into every single body and went,
oh my!
Every single dead body.
Oh no!
How did it end?
Oh yeah, well hold on, give me 1 second, because I forgot. Busta Rhymes, because he's still alive in the house with the girl. To defeat Michael, he begins utilizing his kung fu powers.
Oh my god!
That he learned from watching Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah.
That was so fucking funny. And he literally does the whoa sound every like 2 seconds.
It was bullshit.
Also, when Michael swings his knife and misses, it has the worst fucking sound effect.
It's so like the gain is so they turn that shit up. They're like
it's like a video game knife swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
People need to hear the knife swing. It was bad. Bad movie. What the fuck is that audio spike? What is going on?
Oh dear.
Oh, that's.
It's probably a.
That's that new geography.
That's that new geography.
Yeah.
So anyway, they start catching the fucking garage on fire. Not because they were trying to, just because everybody in this film's a fucking idiot. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, because everybody's watching that live stream, she's like texting Deckard on her little thing. So he's like telling her exactly where he is in the house or whatever.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
They're on like dial-up internet in 2002, and even live streams today are like a minute delayed.
That's
He
true.
And this
he
is
would
exactly-
he would have texted her. He's in the hallway, and he left the hallway 5 minutes ago.
Or no, well, maybe he didn't, because my favorite part, there's one point where because they kick him out the window and they like hang him from the roof, but he escapes at one point, and the both of them, they're like sitting right at the front door, and she gets the text saying he's still in the house, and then the camera moves like 2 centimeters to the left, and he's directly behind them.
Yeah, it's like maybe he realized that the delay was so bad, he just had to start getting vague.
Yeah.
Like, he's near you.
It's like a video game update. Like, you have defeated the killer. You're still alive. So yeah, they accidentally catch the garage on fire because they're fucking idiots, and Michael just gets fucking electrocuted. So then Busta Rhymes and the girl are the only two to survive the whole thing. Michael Myers gets carted away on the ambulance to the coroner's office, and the guy who brings him there, he just tells the girl, like, you have a celebrity, and he's like, who is it? And he's just like, it's Michael Myers. And then she's just like, they leave, and she's just super fucking terrified, which is fair, because I mean,
Yeah.
the dude doesn't fucking die. And she opens up the body bag, and you see Michael's burned corpse in his head, where like it's all burned up, but the mask is still stuck, so he looks like a marshmallow. And then, zoom in, his eyes open, and then the movie ends, and then it never goes anywhere because it was fucking bad.
Thank God.
This has got to be one of the worst in the entire series. Like, I would probably say this is the worst one so far in my eyes.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what's a good movie though?
Murder Party.
Murder Party. Where do you even start? Okay.
Let me give the background.
Okay, stop clicking the thing. Look what you're doing.
I don't even know how to give background. This is a movie from 2007, pretty damn low budget. I had heard of it before from some YouTuber. I think it was YMS, but I'm not entirely sure. But it was just put on Netflix, and I had heard of it, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking for a good horror movie to watch. I watched it. I really fucking loved it. And I was like, hey, Adam, you got to see this movie. So we watched it. And during the entire time, I wasn't sure if he liked it or not, but
I really fucking loved it. It was so up my alley.
And then Larry watched it with us today.
And I like it too. It's so good.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about Murder Party.
Let's talk about Murder Party.
Let's talk about murder and parties.
That's all, folks. Thank you for tuning in to Yamtalk episode 8.
No.
8.
8, yeah.
8.
So Murder Party. Yeah, low budget 2007 movie. This movie had to have been made for like $12 and a ham sandwich, because
Well, it was shot on film.
Cardboard.
that was the other thing I saw. It was shot on film, which is like more expensive than digital. And in 2007,
It was? Oh my god.
it was shot on film, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which I always like movies shot on film, just because I don't know. I like the way
Artsy.
I like the grainy look more than I do digital.
Me too.
But yeah. So I don't know. I imagine, because like again, it looks low budget. Not to say it's bad, because like even the gore effects in this movie, when they do, sometimes it's silly, but like sometimes it's really good. Like there's a burn victim at one point, and it looks so fucking good.
It does.
That was fantastico.
So the film starts. It's Halloween, because we don't stop talking about Halloween around here.
Halloween's my favorite holiday.
I like Christmas personally.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
You just like presents.
No,
I like
I love
Arbor
Christmas.
Day.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop me.
Fuck out of my house.
Okay.
I hate Arbor Day. I really hate Arbor Day.
Let's talk
wrong?
about Murder Party.
Yeah, let's talk about
let's
Murder
talk about
Party.
Murder Party.
So yeah, films opens up. It's Halloween. We're just getting a lot of different like little shots, and we meet our main character. What was his name?
Chris Hawley.
Yeah, Chris. He's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
He
we can
lives
all
in this
relate.
like little apartment with his cat.
With his cat, Sir
I think
Lancelot.
he looks like he's probably in his like mid-30s. He works for the fucking
You're
NYPD as a parking officer.
Yeah.
So he just gives people like tickets for their poor parking job.
I'm not paying for this.
He has a cat. His cat's name is Sir Lancelot,
Love him.
who he can't even get off his own chair because he's too much of a coward.
Can't even pick up his own cat.
Yeah.
Boo-rah.
And, he's walking down the street one day, and he sees an invitation flying in the wind.
Murder party.
He opens it up, and it says, "You're invited to the murder party." And it gives an address. He's like, "I'm going to go to the murder party." So he goes in his closet to take out his Halloween costume, which is a gigantic goblin mask. I feel like it would have been a completely different movie if he wore the goblin mask instead. But no, he just throws out the goblin mask and then makes knight armor out of cardboard boxes and duct tape. It's a wonderful costume.
Yeah.
It's such a good costume, and he leaves it on the whole movie.
He doesn't really have much of a choice.
And then he takes a trek throughout all of New York,
There's that one point where he's sitting on the subway, and there's this dude with the subway rapping directly in his face.
It's like, I'm spitting your obituary. And then he's walking through the shady warehouses, and he starts running.
Because he just gets fucking scared.
Yeah, and then
he also takes like this anti-anxiety medication because he's anxious as fuck, obviously. So yeah, he's running because now he's fucking terrified, and he finds his way to the murder party, and he goes inside, and he just sees like
all these crackheads.
So let's meet the murder party crew.
Yes.
We have I don't really remember all their. Okay, so there's Paul.
Paul, my favorite.
Adam's favorite
my
for
favorite.
a couple different reasons. He's dressed like a vampire, old-timey vampire. We got I don't even remember their names. We have the fat werewolf guy.
That's Macon.
Macon, yeah, fat werewolf guy. We have the
Lexi.
who just does a fuckload of cocaine.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the fuck she's wearing. It's like this tan bodysuit with these shiny shorts, black go-go boots, and then like blue and white face makeup, and then this like blonde wig.
She was Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls.
Sure. I don't remember Bubbles wearing a tan bodysuit, but close enough. Then we have my favorite. The fucking cheerleader zombie girl.
Yeah.
I really like her, but she's not in the movie for Sky. She's not in the movie for very long.
Yeah.
And then we also have
Bill.
Bill, who's just sitting down.
Bill's my favorite.
Yeah, I figured he would.
Yeah, I figured you. Yeah.
I thought you'd like Bill.
He's like dressed as a baseball player with this like yellow black face paint.
Like a frowny emoji with one black eye.
He just plays. Basically, his character in the movie just plays PSP for the whole time.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to point out, for how low budget this movie looks, I think the acting is really good.
Yes.
Except from Alexander, but I think Alexander is supposed to be the way he is, so like it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, I thought the acting was surprisingly good for what we had. So yeah, Chris walks into the murder party and everybody just stops and they're like, "The fuck is this?"
Who? What? Excuse me.
So he comes in and he's like, "Sorry, I'm late. Here's some pumpkin bread." And then everybody's just like, "Thanks." And then Paul grabs the invitation. He lights it on fire. And then he just starts like fucking like waving it around. And Chris is just like smiling and like staring at it the entire time. As Macon grabs an axe and like walks behind him with the axe. And he gets the axe stuck on a fucking chain on the ceiling.
On the light bulb.
Yeah, he turns the light on, and then Chris sees the shadow of him with the axe, and he just starts panicking. So everybody starts tackling Chris, except for Sky, who's standing there holding the fucking
She's like,
pumpkin bread.
Oh god, what do I do?
And she's just walking around. She's grabbing like rope to tie him down, but she won't let go of the pumpkin bread. She just keeps
go. Bill's just sitting there with his PSP.
Bill, I imagine the character or the director is like, "Okay, so Bill, for this scene, I'm gonna need you to sit cross-legged and play your PSP."
The whole time.
Until the ending, and you'll find out why.
Yeah.
So they end up tying him down, and they're all sitting around. They're like, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And then we end up finding out the reason why they're all there is because they're gonna murder him in like some kind of super artsy way, so they can get a grant from this guy called Alexander. So. They're sitting there talking about, like, what are we going to do? And Sky starts eating the pumpkin bread. And she's like, "Are there raisins in this?" And then Chris, who's, like, tied to the chair and gagged, is just like, "Mm-hmm." And she's like, "Are they organic?" He's like, "Mm-mm." And then, so they're all like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm just allergic or whatever." And they move over a chair for her to sit down. And then she just fucking falls and cracks open her fucking head on a lead pipe on the ground.
And she's like, this is one of my favorite parts. She's like, "Oh, it smells like cut grass." What?
And she falls over and dies. And then they're just like, oh my god, they killed Sky.
Oh, Sky's dead.
So then they're like, so then they're all wondering, like, and then like Paul just looks at Chris. He's like, you killed her. And then Macon just freaks out. He's like, I'll fucking kill you. He starts stuffing Chris's face with pumpkin bread. And then he grabs a bottle of acid.
Yeah.
And pours it all over him. He's like, I'll fucking kill you. And then immediately after he pours the acid on Chris, he's just like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
And then it turns out he poured acetic acid, which is just vinegar.
Yeah, Paul goes over to him and he's just like, it smells like vinegar. And then they like Google it. Well, I guess, I don't know what they did. They looked it up on the internet.
It's 2007.
It's
Probably
2007.
Google.
It's something.
It's just like, it's vinegar.
Yeah.
So then Alexander shows up, this is the guy they're trying to impress so they can get the grant money. So they hide Sky's body in a freezer. And
It's just a crate.
It's a crate.
Yeah, I thought it was just a crate.
It was a
Really
freezer.
Small. It was a freezer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Something
a
like that.
yeah, like not like a big freezer, but like a little freezer that you could put small shit in.
Put a body in.
Yeah, put a body
Body.
in.
A
small
small
shit.
body.
So then Lexi goes open the door for Alexander, and he just like he kisses her hand and then bites her arm. 'Cause, you know, why not? So he comes in and he has his little Russian bodyguard with him, Zyko. Zyko. And he has his cute little doggo with him, Hellhammer, who immediately smells Sky's body in the freezer. So then they like make up a lie and they put the dog outside. Where unfortunately the doggo's outside for most of the movie.
Oh, poo-poo.
So now Alexander's here and he's ready to see what they're gonna do with Chris so that he could give them all the grant or figure out who he wants to give the grant money. So then they start explaining what they're gonna do. Macon just explains like some really weird shit. He's like,
Very postmodern.
we're gonna
fucking-
put a pancake on his face and then
push him in front of the
front of a
G-train.
train. and then Lexi is like, I have this whole video thing going on, and she like explains it. She shows the video. It's just a bunch of these random pictures thrown together, and then it's a picture of like her in a bathtub with a bunch of hot dog wieners being thrown on her.
She's like, ah!
Oh, this is so good.
Alexander's
And then he looks over to Bill. He's like, Bill, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'll cut off his dick and stick it to his face.
Set him on fire.
Cut off his dick and set him on fire.
Yeah.
And then Paul wants to like take pictures of him and shit. And Alexander's just like, this is fucking lame. And then he thinks like, he goes into some really long drawn out thing about how, oh, we're gonna wait till the witching hour and then we're all gonna stab him till he's dead. I feel like the writer of this movie really hates modern art.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's like a huge theme. It's just how fucking stupid modern art is. So, yeah, they do that. And they start arguing about what they're gonna do until 3 a.m. Because it's like, I want to order a pizza. And then he's like, how about Chinese? And then they go into the long overdrawn gag about like,
Thai
oh, we're gonna
food.
get
You
this
like
food.
Thai food, right?
And they just keep arguing. And they like look over to Bill. It's like, Bill, you want pizza? He's like, I'll eat anything. Bill, you want Chinese food? I'll eat anything. And then Zyko's like, I want fish and
It
chips.
smells like vinegar.
And then Bill's just like, I want anything except fish. And then they're
God damn
like,
it, just order a fucking pizza.
Alexander's just like, God damn it, just order a fucking pizza.
Sausage, plain. God damn it. And then it's like, oh no.
He fucking escaped. Yeah, Paul just looks up and is like, God damn it, he escaped. And so like they're all going crazy, like, and Lexi's just like running in circles, like, what do we do? And she's like, he's over there. And then the camera pans, he was literally just standing straight up behind some boxes. So then it starts with them like a chase around this fucking warehouse. He just keeps like pushing him out of the way or whatever. And he runs into this fucking closet and he locks himself in there and everybody's like outside the closet waiting for him to come out. He picks up all this shit, like just a bunch of random shit in the closet. He opens the door and he has the shit, he just throws it on the ground and then just like runs away and everybody's just standing there staring at him.
This is a great part.
And they end up catching him and then they lock him down with like chains and shit. So then it's kind of like I guess a montage of them just like waiting, doing shit. Alexander's fucking Lexi in this like back room with a window, and mind
Lexi's
you,
pussy screamed at him.
Macon's like madly in love with Lexi, like to a creepy extent.
Yeah.
Very creepy.
Yeah.
He wants to share needles with her.
Yeah. Anyway, at one point he comes back in or whatever. He comes in right after Alexander was done fucking Lexi, and like she just runs from behind him over to the group, and like Alexander becomes behind Macon. And he's just like, Lexi's pussy screamed at me, and he's like, ah!
He comes back with a full Coke stash,
Full
too.
Coke stash, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
There's a lot of cocaine in this movie. There are a lot of drugs in this movie.
Oh, yeah. This movie made me not want to do cocaine even more.
Anyway, they all sit around in a circle, and they decide they're going to do extreme truth or dare, which is like, they take this drug. It's truth serum. They take truth serum, and then they all have to tell the truth, which is this is a really fun part of the movie.
Yeah, it's one of my
and
favorite
they
parts.
give Chris some of the truth serum, so he's in on it too.
Because he made a good pun.
Yeah, because he made a good. They're all like really into puns, and like Chris had a pun, and the end thing is like, "So what's your pun?" And he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be a really long night, but the night's spelled with a K because I'm dressed as a knight," and everybody hates him. And he's like, "Don't punish me." And then it's like silent for a second, and then Lexi just explodes.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, so then they start doing the truth serum thing, and they're just going all in circles. Bill's going on how he doesn't really want to be here. Paul, there's one where like Paul was like, "I'm really good at lying. Ask me a question." And he's like, "What's your favorite color?" And he's like, "Blue." See, I was lying. It's actually purple. And then Bill's just like, "There's a lot of blue and purple."
A lot of blue and purple.
Also, we see that Alexander doesn't actually take the truth serum. He like pretends to.
He puts
but
it into pizza.
Only Chris notices it. Macon keeps going on about how much he loves Lexi. He kept a popsicle stick in a Ziploc bag from the night they shared together. Then Lex. Oh yeah, it was another. Oh yeah, and then I forget. Somebody asked a really basic question, and Paul was just like, "I'm bisexual." I think everybody is. And they were just like talking about drugs or whatever. And at one point, Lexi looks over to Zika.
Zyko.
Fuck.
Zika.
Zyko.
Zika virus?
And she's like, "What's it like being a drug?" And she's like, "What's it like being a drug dealer?" And Zyko is just like, "It is better than selling pierogies," because he works in his sells drugs out of his parents' pierogi shop.
How are you gonna say this, John Michael? How are you gonna phrase this?
But I have to deal with a
Neighbors.
But I have to deal with a lot of.
Neighbors.
But I
I'm
have
not
to.
touching this.
Nobody wants to. This is the politically correct podcast.
Neighbors. He has to deal with a lot of neighbors.
Zyko is just
Zyko.
like, have to deal with a lot of
Neighbors.
slur for black people.
Yes.
Yes.
Lexi
And then
is-
Lexi's just like, "See, I fucking hate you right now because you're a racist asshole, but I am fascinated with that word." And she's saying the word, and like Paul and Macon are just like, maybe don't do that.
Stop talking. About
And then they take off Chris's gag, and they have to hear what he has to say.
I pooped
And he was
myself.
just like, I shit myself one time. And he's going on about this story. "I work for the NYPD," and Lexi's just like, "You're a fucking cop?" And he's like, "I work for the parking district." And he keeps going. He's like, "You guys do a lot of drugs, but that's okay." And then he just fucking blacks out. And then after he's blacked out, like 2 seconds later, Lexi's just like, "Let's do coke." And then they all do cocaine. They're just going fucking crazy. Macon has a really bad drinking issue to the point where he doesn't even drink the alcohol. He just pours it all over himself.
All over him.
All over himself.
Yeah. Everywhere on his clothes.
And yeah, so Alexander's just dancing around with Lexi, and he looks over at Paul at one point. He's just on the floor carving a pumpkin, and Paul just looks up and he just gives him this innocent little smile, and it just cuts
And
to a
then they're
scene
banging.
of Alexander fucking boning Paul in the back room where he was boning Lexi. Adam really liked this part.
I like that part.
So yeah, they're all just going crazy off of coke. I guess at one point, oh yeah, so Alexander wants this drug called crank, so he's like, "Zyko, I need you to get me some crank," and Zyko.
Zika.
Zyko's just like, "I want fish and chips," and he's like, "I'll get you fish and chips afterwards." So Zyko goes to go get drugs, or crank, but we also find out is also fish and chips.
Yes.
So, what happens? Oh, yeah, so I guess Paul called his assistant to come in and help him take pictures of,
Chris.
yeah. Because, like, you know, Paul's obsessed with, like, taking the pictures or whatever. So then, at one point, his assistant ends up showing up to, like, go take the pictures, and Alexander gets super pissed at Paul, and they're arguing back and forth, and it's at this point where Paul's just really questioning whether or not, like, Alexander even really has the grant money or not. You know, they're going back and forth, and the chick shows up to come in and help him set up the pictures, and Macon goes outside, where, let us remind you, Hellhammer, the dog, is still out there.
Yep.
So Macon's like, fuck you guys, I'm going outside to smoke a cigarette. And he goes to smoke a cigarette, and he's super drunk, and he goes to light his lighter, and he catches himself on fire because of all the alcohol on him.
Make it on fire.
So it's like he's on fire outside, just screaming, and while he's screaming, Paul and Alexander are just arguing. So Lexi goes outside to get the dog, and yeah, she just comes in, and she's like, make it on fire. So she gets Paul's assistant to help her get him off.
No.
To come help extinguish him.
Yeah.
And they pull his corpse back inside. And it was right around this time Hellhammer found the sky in the freezer.
Yeah.
And Alexander opens it up and he's like, well, 2 down, only 3 more to go. And that's when Paul boom gangs him and stabs him with the truth serum. So we find out Alexander never actually had any grant money.
Yeah.
It was all a lie. And yeah, so they're arguing back and forth. And he's like, okay, we're done here. Just take the picture of Chris and we'll leave. And that's when Zyko walks back in. And Paul's just high from the truth serum at this point. He's like, oh, hey, dude. Shoot Paul in the head.
This is my least favorite part.
So then Zyko shoots Paul in the head. This is when like shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
So
it hits it so hard.
Yeah, Zyko shoots Paul in the head, right? Paul's assistant goes to run away, but he ends up shooting
her too.
Her assistant, right?
Alexander's like, fuck it, kill everyone.
Yeah, fucking kill
fuck it.
So Lexi goes crazy, jumps on Zyko's back, and she's like tackling him to the ground. Well, Macon, who is now like severely injured from the he's like just really badly burnt, he pulls the mask off his face and his like flesh is stuck to it. The gore effect is so good.
It's really well done.
It's funny.
Like one eye, it's barely there.
It's really great. And it was at one point too where as Paul is dying, he falls to the ground, just looks at Zyko's shoes, he's like, those shoes are fucking stupid.
Stupid fucking shoes.
So Macon just fucking takes his chainsaw and starts cutting it into Zyko's leg.
Yeah.
And at this point, I forgot to mention, at one point, Bill does like paintings or whatever, right? And at one point, Alexander, Lexi, and Paul were all just huddled around his painting, just making fun of it, talking shit on how like dumb and generic it was, and that like really gets him like super pissed off.
The dog is fine.
So yeah, Lexi she unlocks what's his face? Chris from the chair or whatever, and fucking Bill. This is when Bill just goes fucking crazy. He grabs an axe and fucking murders Lexi, and he just starts stabbing this cake with his fire axe.
Yeah.
It was funny because the crank Alexander wanted, the dog ate it.
Yeah.
So at one point, Alexander just gets up and just goes to leave, and then the dog just fucking murders him. It rips off his like lower jaw or whatever. And then we get our final run. So Chris is running away, and
Bill's in hot
Bill's
pursuit.
Gone fucking crazy. He's just screaming, "Everybody dies! Everybody dies!" And he's just going fucking crazy. He's trying to kill Chris. And Macon wakes up at this point, and he sees Lexi on the ground dead. So now he's ready to kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yes. So the entire ending.
Thurman.
So the entire like fucking climax is just
running on the rooftop.
pretty much just Chris running away from Bill chasing Chris, and then Macon trying to get Bill.
With a lot of gags along the way.
With a whole lot of gags. There's that one point where like Chris escapes Bill, and he stops on the rooftop and just takes a piss. And he's like staring at the door as he's taking a piss, and Bill just comes up. He's like,
gotta go.
So, they're running away, and they get to this party of this guy named Cicero, who's like this big art dude or whatever, and he's got this art exhibit set up. And, Bill's still chasing him, and at one point, Chris hides out in this, like, room, which is, like, this art exhibit. It's all these, like...
Art? Question mark?
Art? Question mark? It's just this little piece of paper with, like, art question mark typed on it, hanging in the wall. And there's in this room, it's just a bunch of naked people in, like, body paint or whatever. Yeah. And then he's just like, do any of you have a cell phone? And he hides in there. So Bill finds him in there, and this is where he just starts going crazy. He just... Chris tells one of the guys in the room, he's just like, this guy's fucking crazy or whatever, you gotta run away. And then the one guy in the room's just like, I'm a lover, not a fighter. And then he just immediately gets stabbed by his fucking axe, Bill's fucking axe. So then Bill goes crazy and murders everybody in this room.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. And it was funny too, at this point, Macon was on the roof with the chainsaw and he caught up to them. And he found an outlet for the chainsaw, right? He plugs it in, he raises his chainsaw, it's on, it's like, yeah! And then he falls off the roof. And then the chainsaw is like hanging from the extension cord right by the window where they're at in that art exhibit room. So Chris grabs the chainsaw and he fucking just fucking murders Bill by putting the chainsaw in his head open. Right? He's just screaming the entire time. And as he's doing, he's just like, this is so gross.
Gross.
So Bill's dead. Yeah. Chris just leaves the room, and as he's leaving the room, all like the art critics walk in and they look in the room where everybody was just murdered. It's just like, performance art.
Fine. It's
with still people, and they're just like everything. So then now it's the end of the movie, and Chris is just going home. He throws away his anti-anxiety medication. Mind you, he's still in his cardboard night costume, just covered in blood.
Yeah.
He goes home, drinking a full carton of milk.
Disgusting.
Sits down on his
gross.
easy chair, turns on the TV, and the movie ends.
He finally gets Sir Lancelot out of the chair, which is character development.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, why'd you like this movie?
I like this movie because it just, like, the way that everybody was such a fucking goofball, and the way, like, the gore was great, the fucking, like, the story and everything was great, you know, like, just the way that shit hit the fan so hard, and it was all, like, a build-up, and everything, like, I noticed that, like, when the camera would show something, like, everything was important. Like, the raisins fucking killed Sky, and, you know, all the shit that was in the closet, like, they got fire extinguishers and stuff. There were more things that I noticed.
Yeah, I noticed there were just so much shit where it was like Chekhov's gun, where if, like, if this is here in Act 1, it has to be used in Act 3. And, like, a good example would be, like, those raisins or the fire extinguishers in the closet. That's where Lexi and the assistant get the thing from.
But you couldn't see anything coming. Like, it was still really unpredictable.
Yeah, the movie was really unpredictable.
I love that, too.
That is one thing I really did. I love the characters so much. Every single one of the characters, I just love them all. You know, Alexander.
I think that might be it. Like, for me, like, for a movie, it's really the characters.
Yeah, and,
that,
like, the characters,
get me into it.
Like, they're all, like, they all are unique characters, and you could, like, kind of see where they're coming from. You know, like, Bill is just this fucking psychopath.
He was
who
just
doesn't
this
want to be
nihilist.
There. Paul's just this dude who wants to take some pictures. Lexi's a fucking crackhead. Macon's in love with Lexi. Alexander is just this sleazy fucker. Zyko is just this Russian dude.
The racist Russian dude.
The racist Russian guy.
I kind of liked it because, like, I also, like, at one point it seemed like the main four, like, after Sky died, of course, kind of had each other's back, except for Bill. Oh, he just killed
Bill
everybody.
literally just plays the PSP the entire time and then goes on a murder craze.
Yeah, but you know, when Zyko was pointing the gun at Paul's head, like, Lexi was like, Paul, watch out. And then even when Zyko got him, she still, like, fought
Yeah,
Zyko,
she just fucking jumped on him.
I was like, I like that. Like, they kind of have each other's back. Like, they're just, you know, like, weird
I feel like
friends.
Sky would too, if Sky didn't die immediately.
Yeah, you know, poor Sky, like, fuck.
Sky had so much potential, man.
And that her death even was just so out of nowhere.
Yeah, like...
And they didn't seem to give a shit about it. They just cared
they
about
just put
Alexander.
Yeah.
They just wanted the grant money, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it was like that. And all the theming with, like, fuck pretentiousness and, like, fuck modern art. Like, everybody dies. It was just great. And, like, you know, it just was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. And Paul, anyways.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dear.
And I do like how Chris had an arc, even though he didn't really do much. He was really tied in a chair the whole time. But from the beginning, because, like, it is funny. It's like a joke how, the cat won't get up in the beginning, but the cat gets up in the end. But that's still kind of symbolic of his development, you know?
Yeah.
It's cute.
It was just fucking great. The truth serum scene was, like,
my
favorite scene.
The truth serum scene is so good.
Yeah. Do you remember when we were on the water tower smoking that hash that tasted like soap? Vaguely.
And then you went home with that guy with the long earlobes. He's like, I remember. Yeah, it was just, and it was funny too. It was funny. I love the characters.
It's like the acting was
Larry,
so
you have
good.
why do you like this movie so much?
Just all the reasons previously said, really. It reminds me of the Green Room in terms of, like, characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just that, like, Green Room was higher budget.
Higher budget,
was.
way more serious.
Didn't have Patrick Stewart.
Didn't.
Did not have Patrick
Well, Murder
Stewart.
Party didn't have Patrick Stewart.
But Green Room didn't have Paul.
Oh my god.
So
Oh my.
we can.
I feel like half the reason you like this movie.
It's
is
not
nothing to
half
do
the reason.
Because of Paul.
It's like 8%.
It was the mutton chops, right?
It was.
Oh
all
yeah,
the
that was funny
mutton
too
chops.
because like Paul was dressed as an old timey vampire and like Alexander comes in, he's like, Paul, what are you dressed as? He's like a vampire, and like Alexander was just like, so am I. Take off your vampire fangs, and like Zyko's pointing a gun at him. He's like, now take off your vampire jacket. He takes it off. He's like, now take off your vampire shirt. He takes it off. He's like, now take off your vampire pants. And I don't know what the fuck he's wearing. Maybe you know? I don't know.
You know, we're not gonna
It's
talk
like a
about
studded man thong.
it. We're not gonna talk about it. So yeah, this is a great movie.
I
Fantastic.
really, really like this
I'm so
movie.
glad you showed that to me.
Yeah, and again, like as we were watching it, I just wasn't because we watched it after a long night. It was like 6 in the morning when we actually started watching it, and like I wasn't sure if you'd like actually like it or not, but you ended up liking it a
It
lot.
fucking woke me up. Like it was just so much fun to
I remember
watch.
at the part where the exact moment where Bill goes crazy. He's like, "Everybody dies!" You just literally yelled out, "Everybody dies!"
It was so perfect because for the longest time on my desktop, I had the background of the raccoon in the trash can smoking a cigarette, holding a 7-Eleven
That said, "Everybody
cup.
dies."
That said everybody dies on
I
it.
forgot about that.
It was so perfect. I was like, yes! That part really sold it for me.
Yeah. So Murder Party would highly recommend.
Murdy Party.
Murder Party.
Murder Party is like a 10 out of 10 for me.
I
It's
really enjoyed it.
fucking great.
I'm really happy they put it on Netflix.
Me too.
Really liked it.
Yeah. So we are 51 minutes into this podcast, and it's an even numbered episode. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Are we doing Hunger Games?
I will do a Hunger Games.
I guess we're doing Hunger Games.
We're gonna do a
We'll
Hunger
do
Games.
a
You ready for Hunger Games, Larry?
I'm ready for Hunger Games.
Oh.
We can let Larry read the results.
Oh yeah, pass it between us. We could.
So this is the third. Who won last episode?
Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie Bear, the runner-up for the first episode, won this episode.
Yeah.
So we have to have the winner and the runner-up. Who is the runner-up for?
I was
Wasn't
hoping.
it Alex Jones?
I think it might have been. Should we make sure?
Yeah. We're gonna pause this podcast and we'll be back. We'll be right back.
And we're back.
It was Alex Jones.
It was
It
Alex.
was.
Jones.
So we're gonna go ahead and set up the thing now. We're gonna have the winner and the runner-up in the first district. So that's Fozzie Bear and Alex Jones.
Yeah, Fozzie Bear's playing 3 games.
Yeah,
he can't leave.
Alex Jones or no, Fozzie Bear is the Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah, didn't Fozzie Bear kill your dog?
Yeah, what an asshole.
Fucking bitch.
All right, so for District 2, we'll have our team guest star Larry.
Hello.
Larry, I'm rooting for you.
Larry and should we use another guest star? The Void.
The Void. We'll put her
Void.
in. Fuck. Shoot. God damn it.
What?
Rooting for both of you.
All right, so let's go on to the next district.'re definitely gonna have some. We're gonna have District Murder Party. We'll do Paul.
Paul. Yes. Okay.
How about Paul and Bill?
Yeah. Those two are my faves. Lexi is like third,
Lexi's
second
one of my
alternate.
favorite. All right, so who should our next district be? Who should we have?
One stormtrooper.
Okay, one stormtrooper.
This could be the Star Wars district. Who's a really obscure Star Wars character that nobody knows?
Sly Noodles.
What?
Sly Snoodles.
Squaw?
Squaw? Who fucked that?
All right, for Team Drug Abuse, we have Crank
Yep.
and
Nicotine.
yes.
Well, yeah, sure.
We already used Adam's vape.
Lame ass vape.
Nick.
Nick.
Nicotine.
Nick. I have to deal with neighbors.
So who should our next?
Shit.
The Second Amendment. We always have a no. We already did the NRA.
This is the hardest part as
How
the
about
episodes go on.
People I've seen at the wreck.
What?
Jordan Folletti with long hair.
People Larry has seen at the wreck.
Sure.
Wreck people.
Wreck people.
The wreck people.
People Larry has seen at the wreck.
Is it gonna fit?
Yeah. Is
John
that
Mike-
a lot of people?
There's too many people there.
John Michael
People
Stubbs.
Larry has seen.
People I have to like
At the wreck.
occasionally make awkward eye contact with, and I don't want to talk to them.
All right.
Dude, John Michael's thumbs. My fingers were in it last round.
Good idea.
Yes.
Oh, my spleen was in it last time. John Michael's thumbs and... Okay, we'll do John Michael's thumbs and, like, Adam's something else. But first, we gotta come up with something to go along with people Larry has seen.
People Larry has heard. People Larry has smelled.
Are you okay there, buddy?
Did you hear me?
What?
Stefan.
Oh, God.
Alright, moving on.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Alright, white guilt. I don't know.
The Divine Comedy. Dante Alighieri.
I'm gonna do white guilt.
Okay.
And then for the next one, we'll do...
John Michael's thumbs and Adam's weenus.
JM's thumbs and Adam's weenus.
Yeah. Dante from the Inferno.
Yeah, and then the next district will be Dante Alighieri.
Yeah. Are you looking how to spell it?
Yeah, because, that matters.
Dante Alighieri and H.P. Lovecraft.
Good idea. H.P. Lovecraft. I have a good one.
Okay.
For District 9, we'll have the entire... Shit. Hold on. We have the entire cast of The Office.
I can't wait to see them all die.
And for the other one, we have the entire cast of of Friends.
The Friends.
Of The Friends.
Can't wait to watch David Schwimmer eat shit.
David Schwimmer.
Crimson Chin. Put him in.
Yeah.
Put him in the Crimson Chin.
For Team Cinematic Universe, we have the Crimson Chin and Benito Mussolini.
Sure.
From Marvel?
Yeah. What's his superpower?
Genocide.
Team switching. For District 11, we have...
Checkered button-down shirt.
Really?
Really?
Alright, and
Carmen from the San Diego Clan.
Shit. Hold on. Carmen from the San Diego Clan. I hope you're going to be able to read these names.
I'm Carmen from the San Diego Clan.
Alright, and for our last district, we'll have...
Butt Kickin' Sally.
Who's that?
I have no idea. What?
Oh! Duh. I don't even know why I bothered questioning him.
Busta Rhymes.
And LL Cool J.
Damn. Sorry, Tyra Banks. Come back next time.
Or don't, because you're hanging from the ceiling.
Alright. So, for the champion circle, we have Fozzie Bear and Alex Jones. For team guest star, we have Larry and The Void.
Yeah.
For team murder party, we have Paul and Bill.
Alright.
For team obscure Star Wars characters, we have that one stormtrooper and Sly Snoodles. For team drug abuse, we have Crank and Nicotine. For team very white, we have people Larry has seen at the wreck and White Guilt. For team all that remains, we have John Michael's thumbs and Adam's weenus.
We've died twice already. We died and our sons died.
For team classic classic authors, we have Dante Alighieri and H.P. Lovecraft. For team overrated TV shows, we have the entire cast of The Office and the entire cast of Friends.
God, amen.
For team Marvel Cinematic Universe, we have the Crimson Chin and Benito Mussolini. For team we were running out of ideas, we have a checkered button-down shirt and Carmen from the San Diego Clan. And for team shitty Halloween sequels, we have Busta Rhymes and LL Cool J.
All right, we're ready.
Are
to
we
get
prepared?
This party started.
From Team What the Fuck Were We Thinking?
What the fuck were we thinking? All right, let's do this. I'd like to point out that Carmen from the San Diego Clan is the big black guy from Hunger Games. All right. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horde... Okay, let's go. Carmen from the San Diego clan shoots an arrow into Bill's head.
Oh my god.
I thought Bill was going to be a power player this thing, and he's literally the very first...
Everybody dies.
And then he immediately dies. The Void breaks Larry's nose for a basket of bread.
Oh my god.
That seems like something she'd do.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes finds a canteen full of water.
Hydrate.
LL Cool J grabs a jar of fishing bait while the entire cast of Friends get fishing gear. Ross, what are you doing? I'm fishing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You got a jar of bait over there.
People Larry has seen at the wreck runs away from the cornucopia. All of them at once.
All of them with terrible form.
So fit.
The entire cast of The Office, Adam's Weenus, and Fozzie Bear get into a fight. Holy shit, the entire cast of The Office triumphantly kills them both.
Oh no.
Adam's Weenus and Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie Bear's out early.
Fozzie Bear's out early. What a power player, and now he's gone.
And The Office killed him. I bet it was Dwight.
Yeah.
Fucking bastard.
Crank grabs a shovel. HP Lovecraft runs away.
Fish people.
White Guilt runs away. Dante Alighieri takes a handful of throwing knives while Sly Snoodles runs away. Nicotine runs away. Paul retrieves... You're probably rooting for Paul.
I'm rooting for Paul and Larry and the Void.
Paul retrieves a trident. A checkered button-down shirt scares one stormtrooper away from... Ooh! Alex Jones runs away. John Michael's Thumbs runs away.
How?
The Crimson Chin runs away, and Benito Mussolini runs away.
Coward. Crimson Chin's better than that.
Alright, here. I already clicked next, just read it.
Alright. So, White Guilt and Benito Mussolini split up to search for resources.
Fitting.
Okay, good to see they're together. Paul collects fruit from a tree. The Crimson Chin explores the arena. Crank collects fruit from a tree. A checkered button-down shirt convinces Dante Alighieri to not kill her, only to kill him instead.
Oh, Dante!
The Void discovers a river.
She just jumps into it like a fish, just flops it.
Busta Rhymes and H.P. Lovecraft work together for the day.
Dude, that is gonna be like the best lyricism of all time. Listen, Call of Cthulhu would be so much better if it was written by Busta Rhymes.
Yo. Cthulhu.
Got that fish people, gonna
Bruce
get up.
Lee, yeah.
Bruce Lee, yeah. Gotta kick Michael Myers, yeah.
Carmen from the San Diego clan and Nicotine split up to search for resources. I collect fruit from a tree. People I have seen at the wreck search for a water source because they gotta stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Stay on top.
Very important. The entire cast of The Office stalks Jim Thumbs.
Jim Thumbs?
Jim's. I put J.
John Michael's Thumbs.
Jim
Sly
Thumbs.
Noodle sprains her ankle while running away from LL Cool J. The entire Friends. The entire Friends
cast
searches for firewood. One stormtrooper collects fruit from a tree, and Alex Jones searches for firewood. Okay.
Okay.
So not that many.
Now.
Yeah.
Who
We
died?
lost 4 people. We lost my
Bill,
Venus.
Adam's Weenus, Fozzie Bear, and Dante Alighieri.
Dude, Bill and Fozzie Bear I thought were gonna be power players, and they fucking died.
They fell hard.
Alright, proceed.
Here we go. Oh wow.
Okay.
Looks very eventful.
Okay, now.
Jim Thumbs. John Michael's Thumbs let H.P. Lovecraft into his shelter. Busta Rhymes, people Larry has seen at the wreck, and the Void discuss the games and what might happen in the morning.
Have you seen Busta Rhymes and or the Void at the wreck?
No. I haven't.
Maybe the Void is Busta Rhymes.
Oh. Larry falls into a pit and dies.
Cool. That's really cool.
I'm so sorry, Larry.
You okay down there?
Nicotine sees a fire but stays hidden.
Good choice.
Hitting.
The entire cast of The Office climbs a tree to rest. White Guilt questions her sanity. The Crimson Chin and Checkered Button Down talk about the tribute still alive. Carmen from the San Diego clan convinces Sly Snoodles
Snooties.
to snuggle with him.
Oh.
The entire cast of Friends quietly hums.
They hum the Friends theme song. They all clap at once.
Yeah. LL Cool J and one stormtrooper track down and kill Benito Mussolini.
Jesus.
Crank sets up camp for the night. Paul receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Alex Jones...
I'd like to point out he just pointed to himself.
I wonder who it was.
Here's my Paul X-Reader fanfiction.
Don't give me any ideas.
Oh no.
Alex Jones thinks about home and all the gay frogs. Here you go.
Okay. The entire cast of The Office and LL Cool J split up to search for resources. Paul picks flowers.
Aww. Okay, keep going.
Crank stalks one stormtrooper. Busta Rhymes dies from an infection.
Oh no, an
Not
infection
Busta
of the
Rhymes.
heart. Infection of the bores.
Nicotine begs for the Void to kill her. She refuses, keeping Nicotine alive.
Keep nicotine alive.
Checkered button-down shirt scares the Crimson Chin off.
How dare he? It.
John Michael's thumbs chases H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh no,
I'm
fish
gonna get
people.
ya. The entire cast of Friends searches for a water source. Carmen from the San Diego clan diverts White Guilt's attention and runs away. Alex Jones go hunting. Slice Noodles receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor.
Uh-oh.
People Larry has seen at the wreck fishes.
Gotta stay
So the
cheap.
deaths for the day
that
were
protein.
Larry,
Get that protein.
Benito Mussolini, and Busta Rhymes.
Great.
You died among the greats.
Oh, shit's about to hit the fan.
Oh no. Paul.
Why?
Paul,
Come on, Paul.
my senpai. Paul, my senpai.
My mutton chop senpai.
John Michael's thumbs. The entire cast of the Friends, The Void, and Crank tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Alex Jones catches H.P. Lovecraft off guard and kills her.
Oh no.
H.P.
Checkered
Lovecraft was a
button
woman.
All along.
Checkered button-down shirt. People Larry is seen at the wreck. Carmen from the San Diego clan, and the Crimson Chin and White Guilt sleep in shifts. Nicotine convinces LL Cool J to snuggle with her.
Nicotine is a woman.
One stormtrooper fends Slice Noodles.
Nobody's gonna pronounce that name right.
It's gonna be Zyko all over again.
I like that shirt.
Thanks, man. It's from Target.
Paul and the entire cast of Office away from his fire.
Paul, you tried, but
Alright.
you weren't hardcore enough.
No,
Paul
he
died?
lived.
Oh.
No. He tried to raid the camp.
Oh, okay.
Wait, let me read it. It's the
No.
next page. You
Asshole.
Fucking... Paul dies from hunger. Carmen from the San Diego clan. Crank and Alex Jones start fighting, but Crank runs away as Carmen from the San Diego clan kills Alex Jones. Get him out of here! People
You might get the frog skin!
People Larry has seen at the wreck sets an explosion off, killing the entire cast of The Office, the entire cast of Friends, LL Cool J, and Sly Snooties.
Jesus Christ.
Snoodles. Yeah, wow. John Michael's thumbs, one stormtrooper, White Guilt, the Void, and Checkered Button Down track down and kill the Crimson Chin.
That poor guy.
Nicotine cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide.
Wow.
Dude, I just read Everybody Dies.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Alright. A tsunami rolls into the area.
Oh, fuck.
White Guilt defeats the Void, but throws her in the water to make sure she dies.
Oh, no.
One stormtrooper and Carmen from the San Diego clan smash their heads together as the tsunami rolls in, leaving them both to drown.
Giving them both headaches all day.
Craig survives
Okay.
to live on, a drug. People Larry has seen at the wreck survives. Checkered button-down shirt
I
survives.
think I'm rooting for Checkered Button Down. I lost all the three
JM's
people.
thumbs fatally injures himself on debris. Here's the problem, is that next time we go to do this and we are like, okay, we have to get the winner and runner-up, we're going to read it and be like, who the fuck is People Larry has seen at the wreck? Jesus Christ, the death. Look at this.
Oh my
look
god,
at
that's
this
like half the
death
people.
count. Okay, so the deaths from that day were H.P. Lovecraft, Paul, Alex Jones, the entire cast of The Office, the entire cast of Friends, LL Cool J, Sly Snoodles, The Crimson Chin, Nicotine, The Void, one Stormtrooper, Carmen from the San Diego Clan, and John Michaels Thumbs.
God, what a sad day.
We have final four here.
Jesus.
Crank, People Larry has seen at the wreck, White Guilt, and a checkered button-down shirt.
I guess I'm rooting for Button Down. I
Yeah,
lost.
it's really funny because White Guilt
is
is a
sad.
white girl. Like, it keeps using it as a her. People Larry has seen at the wreck has 4 kills right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's Jordan
They're
for when
brutal.
he's out there.
Alright. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on.
Zoom in even farther.
Alright, we're getting into the end. Larry?
Alright. Well, to start, checkered button-down shirt bleeds out due to untreated injuries.
I'm not rooting for anybody.
This is a
now.
rough final 3. Let's just remind you that the final 3 is the drug Crank, People Larry has seen at the wreck, and
White Guilt.
White Guilt.
Yeah. And that's the only one, too. Crank convinces White Guilt to snuggle with him. And people I've seen at the wreck think about home.
Think
Do
about
they
Because
know?
they're at the wreck. they spend all their time at the wreck.
I wonder if I'm
What
reading
is
a
the
winner
wreck?
right now.
The rec center.
Oh.
Okay. Crank gathers as much food into a bag as he can before fleeing. People Larry has seen at the wreck and White Guilt get into a fight over raw meat. But people Larry has seen at the wreck give up and run away.
So nobody died.
Nobody dies.
Except for...
Alright.
Ooh.
Oofy.
Oofy woofy.
Jesus Christ. Crank searches for a water source. White Guilt goes hunting. People Larry has seen at the wreck explore the area.
Boring.
Alright, Larry.
Please resurrect Paul.
Bring him back.
Paul comes back from the dead.
White Guilt loses sight of where she is. Crank screams for help. And people I've seen at the wreck tries to sing himself to sleep.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my god, nothing's happening.
Come on. People Larry has seen at the wreck receive a hatchet from an unknown sponsor.
no.
Just one. To share
Just one to
between.
share.
Crank makes a slingshot and White Guilt gets an explosive. Oh my god.
They're arming for the final battle. Alright. The arena's borders begin to rapidly contract. Thinking they could escape, Crank and White Guilt attempt to run through the border together.
Wow.
That's it. Oh, wait, they died?
Yeah.
What? What does
The
that
border-
even mean?
The border kills you if you try to run through it because it's the arena is shrinking.
Oh. So yeah, Crank and White Guilt died. People Larry has seen at the wreck survived.
So we technically have 2 runner-ups then.
Yeah, Crank and White Guilt.
That could be the worst. That cannot be any worse.
We'll just combine them together and make like angry white people or something.
Yeah.
That was the most anticlimactic ending. The winner is People Larry has seen at the wreck. A joke most people won't even understand.
Yeah.
But hey, they're all healthy.
Every single one of them survived. How does that make you feel, Larry?
I'm just happy for him.
Says without a smile on his face.
I'm just really happy for them.
So, do we have any more topics? Let's interview our guest star.
Okay. Hi Larry, how old are you today?
20.
How old was the last person you killed?
If it's a number below 12, you get a free cookie.
Oh wait, I forgot. We have to get our theme song for the winner. What
Okay.
would be a theme song for People You've Seen at the Wreck be?
Probably Pump It by the Black Eyed Peas.
Sure.
You mean Discount Pulp Fiction main theme?
Yes, yes. Oh my god.
The winner is People Larry has seen at the wreck.
This is the ultimate workout song. Probably would have also been a song by Eminem or something. Stupid like that. You can imagine they all listen to Eminem at the wreck.
You know, wild though. Eminem just dropped a new album out of nowhere on Spotify called Kamikaze.
Really?
About
It's
that.
it's pretty good if we're being fair.
I'm not being fair.
Like Revival was shit, but like Kamikaze's, it's tight. He's basically just dissing like every single person in the rap
Oh boy.
thing right now.
Well.
I know there's something going on with him and Machine Gun Kelly right now, but you know. Thank you guys for coming to the World Star podcast where we only talk about rap.
I saw a tweet one time. Do you know about the girl at Kent who like has the guns and she's going around? Someone was like, my friend thought Machine Gun Kelly was the girl at Kent that was going around with the guns. I fucking died. Yeah. Well, on that note,
Larry, do you have anything to bring to the conversation before we leave?
Not really. I'm good. This has been fun.
yeah, come by more often.
Next week you'll be the only person. Like you'll just be by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yamtalk
Wait!
style, Larry.
We never give a yam fact.
Shit, you're right.
The first yam used on film was in 2007's Murder Party, starring Chris. You know the guy who played Chris? His name was Chris.
Really?
Yeah.
The guy who played Paul's name was Paul.
The guy who played Bill's name was...
Yam.
And that's your yam fact for the day. Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
Thank you to all the fans. We're so happy for your support.
We get 2 likes about every video, and I'm pretty sure they're us.
It's us.
Um,
This podcast is very coherent, and it's helpful, and it's doing a thing in this world, and I definitely give a shit.
It's been fun.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Fuckers.
You fucking asshole.
You fucking, how
You
dare you.
fucking...
You
How do I stop this?
You come into my
Oh,
house.
this is mine.
You come into my house. You
Wait, I wanna-
the space